The run they gave us was impressive. They're a bunch of zombies, and we're better now than we were at the beginning of the series, and it's because of them. They pushed us to the limit.
OKC coach Mark Daigneault saying they're a better team now because of how the Nuggets played them. That's interesting. I want your take on that. It was sweaty. They were down double digits in Game 7 at home, but then they turned a switch, up 40 at one point, and a series-clinching beatdown. Youngest team in the NBA, heavily favored, but the youngest team in the NBA makes the conference finals. Jorge Sedano, around the horn to you. You've covered a number of these Thunder games this year. Seen them up close. What did you see in this series and specifically in Game 7?
Tone, two things real quick before I answer. Number one, I'm going to try not to cry. Number two, I'm going to break your banned word button today. I'm just letting you know on the front end. Okay, let's start with the Thunder. Tone, I've seen them since their first play-in game 2 seasons ago. Every single year, they seem to learn more and more. Every single year, I come on the show and say, they're younger than a bazillion college teams, and they are learning on the job. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good with the Aaron Gordon situation, but heading into this series, there was this chatter, oh, they can't win the close games because all they do is blow people out. They're too young. They can't overcome the champs. Well, here they are. They overcame a former champion, the best player on the planet. They lost the first 2 clutch games. They won the next 2, and then they overcame a deficit early, blew them out of the water in Game 7. This is a team that continually understands the moment. They have a phrase that they like to use, Tone, which is win the days in between and reset to neutral. No matter what happens, the day before, the day after, win or loss, it doesn't matter. Get back to a neutral state of mind. That's Mark Daigneault's culture that he's established, and it disparages the narrative that young teams can't win.
You did it
I
again.
think it's their time.
But I love the inside information from Jorge. Now, Jen Lada, around the horn to you, what you saw from these Thunder in this Game 7 win.
Well, I appreciate George emptying his reporter notebook after covering the series. That is good work by him. And I do think that Nikola Jokic is obviously going to be home in time to fulfill his Serbian responsibilities. But they shot 49% from the floor, guys. And in part, that was because they were able to break the zone that had troubled them earlier in the series, getting the ball at the free throw line, attacking the rim. I think they're 27 dunks or layups, tied for second most in all of the games this postseason. But they also, guys, forced Jokic into having a bad game. 20 points. He had some turnovers, only 7 assists. I think he averages 10. So if you can force one of the MVP candidates into a bad night, that's a recipe
One
for
of the
success.
MVP candidates. There was this great theory, you know, they should have put the MVP in the middle of the court and just had the winner, SGA or Jokic, carry it home. David Dennis Jr., around the horn to you.
The Oklahoma City Thunder did something that is so rare for a young team. They showed up in Game 7 and overperformed what the expectation for them for. They had some jitters at the beginning, but everybody stepped up, whether it was Caruso playing 80% of the defense against Jokic and helping to shut him down relative to what Jokic is used to doing. Then there's SGA playing on both sides of the court. But to me, the story is Jalen Williams, after that really abysmal Game 6, showed up and was the second best player on that Thunder team. Everybody on this team elevated to a new level, and they went through this series to make them better and better primed to have a championship level run. Winning 3 of the last 4 games against this Denver Nuggets team has positioned themselves to be ready to go get that championship.
I'm hearing what you guys are saying. You're impressed with the way they grew. This was a 68-win regular season team, though. You know, I mean, there was an expectation that they have to make this conference finals. Kevin Clark, around the horn to you.
I'll borrow a phrase from boxing, which is that young teams don't age in years, they age in games. And so, yes, they are a better team after playing a series like this. They've become a veteran team. They feel like they've been together for a long time. And so, no, I don't even consider them that young of a team. If we had all these stats last year about how they were younger than North Carolina or all those college basketball teams or whatever. But for me, the most impressive thing is the defensive game plan they had against the presumed MVP. Because guess what? The best way to not have him destroy you with the ball, don't let him get the ball. Fewest touches he's ever had in a playoff game. That's all due to Alex Caruso. Yeah. And so when I look at this, I'm just thinking about the fact that they have the best mark when down 10 points in 27 years by a team. That's what the Kansas City Chiefs are able to do, and that's what the Oklahoma City Thunder are able to do.
Oh, that's a cross-sport band phrase there. Kevin Clark. You said presumed MVP. I think SGA is the presumed MVP this season, right? I mean, I think people
MVP
think
candidate.
Jokic would have been winning it if he hadn't won the last few. Another, to borrow a phrase from boxing, styles make fights, right? And this was an example of that. This was a tougher matchup because the style differences. What happens next with OKC in Minnesota will be thrilling. Unbelievable. Street lights, people living just to find the motion. It's not the finals, though. Life is all about managing expectations, isn't it? Beating the champs is great, and that's what New York just did. Now a rematch from last year to who went into your building and beat you in a Game 7. Knicks Pacers. David, before we get there, are the Knicks a different team this year, and how?
Well, as somebody who never doubted the Knicks at any point through the playoffs, I feel vindicated about what they've done so far. But yeah, the Knicks are a different team right now because they are now unexpectedly the big dogs in the East. They came in as sort of the little brother to the Celtics and the Cavs. Nobody gave them a shot, and they earned that victory against the Celtics. And now they have home court advantage against a Pacers team with the expectation for them and that fan base that they are going to make it into the finals. This is not going to be an easy series. The Pacers have an explosive offense. They're just as good in the clutch, and the Knicks are going to have to take that big dog mentality they had in Game 6 to take out Boston and use that all through this Eastern Conference Finals.
Kevin Clark, what do you see with the Knicks? Do you see a different team right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll start here, which is that they led more in this game than the entire rest of the series combined. So yeah, I saw a different team. Also, if you're fan policing and saying, oh, the Knicks shouldn't go, their fans shouldn't go out on 7th Avenue and do this, it's not the finals, get another hobby. The Knicks fans have been waiting for a release like this for a decade or more. All of the losses, all of the tanking, all of the Isaiah Thomas and the bad coaches and all of that stuff, it's finally over. This is a team New York can be proud of, and it's sustainable. That's the most important thing for me. The Celtics got blown out by a bigger margin than any defending champion ever in an elimination game. This is a special team. I really like this Knicks team.
George Sedano.
Two things, Tone. I'll keep it very simple. They were 0-13 against the top 3 seeds in the regular season. Their defense was in the bottom third, a Tom Thibodeau team with a defense in the bottom third, and that is completely flipped in this postseason. Whether it was, and that's the difference right now. The NBA, the regular season and the postseason don't translate anymore. That's just how the game seems to be headed over the last couple of years, particularly. But this is a perfect season to encapsulate that. And look, their defense is so good, Tony. Dare I say, it's elite.
Oh, I know what you're doing here, but I want to get to you ask a beautiful question, a reporter's question. Why did it switch so quickly for the New York Knicks? You can tell me the regular season's different than the postseason. Jen Lada.
Two things.
I'll go back to you, George. Jen, please.
I do think that some of it is buying into Tom Thibodeau, and I'm a huge fan. I'm thrilled that he was able to get these guys to gel. But even he made some adjustments during this series defensively, right? Asking guys to switch more often than they were used to. And Thibodeau is a guy who has been criticized so much during his coaching career for being too demanding, for putting too much on his players. These guys have welcomed it. They have embraced it. I will say this, though. After the game, he was asked about what he thought of the game, and he said, I thought we played pretty terrific. An effusive praise from Tom Thibodeau? Who are you and what have you done with the coach that we know?
All right, Sedano, back in.
No, Jen nailed it. The switching. He switched more than he's ever had in his career. And I'll also add, the reason that happened, Mitchell Robinson's health. Mitchell Robinson allowed them to play defense that way in a way that they're not familiar with.
We know how valuable a player is in the league. You can get lost on what his shot looks like or in the regular season, the ups and downs of his games. The last 4 minutes of a playoff game, who else in the world do you want more? Jalen Brunson on the offensive side, the clutch player, and Mikal Bridges on defense, where he just takes the ball away from the opposition to win games multiple times in this series. One more thing here. I said it as we started the show. 7th straight year, we're going to have a different champion in the NBA. It's the first time it's ever happened. Is that a good thing, George Sedano?
No question about it, Tony. Parity allows fan bases to feel like they're in it. This is no longer about, the Celtics and the Lakers or whatnot. The small markets can compete. We have 3 teams who've never won a championship, and the Knicks who haven't won since 1972-73. This is great for basketball.
David Dennis Jr.
Yeah, I think in general, parity is good. The different teams are good. Unpredictability is good in the NBA. I will say, however, on this show, we could have used a little bit less parity. I think I could have had a few wins in a row.
Wait, what's it better? You don't think there was unpredictability in this show? You didn't even see this view coming. Or this view. Or this view. You don't see it coming. Where are you going now, David? You didn't see that one coming.
You know what, Tone? If he was a generational panelist, then that would have been the case.
Oh, my goodness. What are you doing, Sedano? We're taking a break. Bye, next.